Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to News Hour live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. We are also live on GTV and streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Micheline Taka. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. On April 29, 2019, the National Identification Authority, NIA, began the registration and issuance of the believed to be all-in-one Ghana's Smart Dual Interface Card, the Ghana Card, also known as the ECOWAS Card. The mop-up exercise started in the Greater Accra and some selected regions for Ghanaians aged 15 years and above and foreign nationals living in Ghana. However, there is a word on the street that applicants have to pay 250 Ghana cedis at the same time. There are people who went through the process too recently and say it is for free. To clear the doubts, we have the head of corporate affairs of NIA, Mr. Abdul Ganiu, on standby. He is speaking to us via Zoom. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Thanks so much for joining us. Those applying for the Ghana card now, do they have to pay for a fee before being registered to have one?
Not at all. I have made this point time and again that registration taking place at all our regional and district offices shall be free, and it remains free for all Ghanaians. There are some other services that we are yet to roll out at the regional and district offices. And these are card replacement services, updates of personal records. And for the updates of personal records, to the extent that it leads to the printing of a new card, then they pay an amount of 30 Ghana cedis. And people who have also lost their cards and are coming for replacement, they also pay a fee of 30 Ghana cedis. Aside that, registering for the Ghana card for the first time, it remains free for all Ghanaians. Now, we have also established a premium registration center, and this is where people must understand this clearly, that registration currently taking place at the NIA headquarters, that comes with a fee of 250 Ghana cedis, because that is a premium registration center. This is provided for by law, that if you go to any of the regional and district offices to register for the Ghana card for the first time, you don't pay any amount of money. Registration over there is free. There's another service known as institutional registration. So if GBC were to call us to come to your premises and register your staff over a period, then each person will pay an amount of 100 Ghana. That is institutional registration. So once we come to the institution, registration is not open for any other person, but only staff of that particular organization. Then there's also what we call the household registration. So a family sits at home, calls on the NIA to come and register them. Each person will pay an amount of 150 Ghana cedis. And that's what we call the household registration. So these are the instances that chiefs are going to apply, or else registering for the Ghana card the very first time at any regional and district office is free. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Suse. But before you go, why do you think people are speculating that they are being charged for first-time registration? Is it that education hasn't gone down well, or maybe some service personnel are also taking monies on the side?
Well, I cannot say that public education has gone down to every single Ghanaian. But as I speak to you, we have done our very best in terms of issuing one statement after the other. We have gone on various radio stations, TV stations across the country to educate the general public on instances that fees are going to be required. We have continued to work with the Information Service Department, with the National Commission for Civic Education to support community education and sensitization. So I believe that a larger majority of the good people of this country are very much aware of the instances that these do apply. But of course, we've also gotten reports of some of our officers who demand money before people are registered. And when those instances are brought to our notice, we have taken stern action against those people. Once there's evidence, we are able to quickly hand this over to the CID. And I know that the CID is currently handling quite a couple of cases. And to the extent that those people are found guilty, they are surely going to pay the full cost of the law. So I think Ghanaians must understand that once you go to the registration center and people are demanding for money, just give us the appropriate evidence to go after the people. And anybody at all who asks for money from you before registering you for the first, please say no to it. If it has to do with the update of your record or the replacement of card, you are going to be given a receipt before that service is rendered to you. And as we speak, we have not started offering the update and the replacement services at the regional and district level. We are only doing so at headquarters. So at the appropriate time, we have one. When these services, we shall start rendering them at the regional and district office.
Points well made, sir. Thank you very much for your time. I was just speaking with the head of corporate affairs of NIA, Mr. Abdul Ganiyu, and he was clearing the doubts surrounding the charges people are to pay when they register for the first time, their national registration, their national identification card. Now, the clarity is that you are not to pay if you are registering for the first time. However, if you want a premium service, then you'd have to pay 150 Ghana cedis, 100 cedis, or 250 Ghana cedis, depending on the circumstance. You're watching News Hour live on GBC News, the News and Governance channel. Now, the Ghana Police Service on Tuesday, December 28, 2021, issued a statement on what it calls prophecies of harm, danger and death by some religious leaders. The service cautioned that under the law, it is a crime for a person to publish or reproduce a statement which is likely to cause fear and alarm to the public. Discussing the issue on GBC's Breakfast Show, the founder and president of the Worldwide Miracle Outreach, Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tete, said some religious leaders are culprits and advised them to desist from making such false prophecies.
We are unfortunate. The police instruct the church how to handle spiritual matters. It is how low we have sunk the church. And certainly it's not the fault of the police. Church is supposed to be instructing the politicians, the pressmen, the police, the army, to admonishing them. Now the police is admonishing the church because a few individuals have reduced the church into where we are. So I feel very sad. And it feels like everyone wants to outdo the next person. Is that how we've got here? In the days of old, we'll have the good, the bad, and the ugly. So definitely there'll be a few wrong things done by certain individuals that affects all and sundry. In fact, one of the greatest gifts God gave to humanity and mankind is prophecy, where you admonish, you guide, and you also rebuke. I sit here today as a pastor, and I must say, if you say Lotetta is going to die tomorrow, my mother will come after you. My brothers will come after you. My sisters will come after you. And so if you go public, you've created panic for the people. There's been instances where prophets have had a word about kings and leaders. Prophet Isaiah went straight into the house of Ezekiel, the king, and told him, put your house together. You are about to die. That is a wise prophecy. That's a prophecy that is given in discreet. That's a prophecy that is given with wisdom. And that's a prophecy that has some level of circumspect, that we don't abuse those things. I think this is also a caution to all of us. As much as some people will be embarrassed about this and some people will be concerned about it, I think it's a wake-up call that we shouldn't open the door for anybody to say. The fear of death is more ugly than death itself. So we need to be mindful how we do it. What I keep saying since yesterday when I saw is that it is we, the church leaders, that have allowed ourselves to this extent. So we need to correct the wrong.
Meanwhile, legal practitioners Mr. Musa Ahmed and Mr. Francis Xavier said the police can prosecute persons only on the basis of causing fear and panic.
The key criminal element there is the use of the word causing fear and panic, which is an offense under the criminal offenses. And I think if you exceed the limit of exercising your religious freedom, you can be sanctioned by law. If the statement was made and there is evidence that a statement has caused fear and panic among the citizens, and we can have a few individuals to come and prove the kind of effect it had on them, which amounts to fear and panic, then you are in the area of proving your case. It is not, directed exactly at the individual for the statement per se. It's the intent, the act, the result of his utterances. Clearly, what the police need to do is to even cast a doubt in the religious mandate and the spiritual mandate of every man of God and every prophet across the country. We are yet to see the progressive and the pragmatic steps police has put in place for purposes of arresting or reducing the kind of crime rate that we have had in this year. And yet we are so much quickly and in a hurry to regulate prophecies.
Where should we draw the line?
We have laws that regulate those things. When a person causes fear and panic, arrest the person and prosecute the person, the laws that we have. But don't seek to bring directives that would cast doubt in the entire Christian religious space, cast doubt on prophecies and potential false prophecies. Why do you prepare the mind of people to think that, well, 31st December is coming, prophecies will come, some will be false prophecies, and they are likely to cause fear and panic, and so you are warning ahead of time. For me, that is wrong. We don't have to accept that.
The fake prophecies. With a surge in active cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19, especially in the Greater Accra region, the Coordinating Council issued a directive for the Christmas and New Year festivities. These include the compulsory wearing of face masks, washing of hands, and strict adherence to the safety protocols in all public transport and public places effective December 25, 2021.
Effective Saturday, 25th December, all passengers without face masks must not be allowed to board any means of public transport. All persons moving in public places must ensure that they wear their face masks and observe all the COVID-19 safety protocols in public places.
Well, the news team is in town to find out how the Greater Accra Coordinating Council is enforcing the directive, especially in public transport. We will speak to our correspondent, Abronima Walker. Walker, good afternoon. Walker, what have you observed so far? Walker is trying to find his bearings right. Walker, if you can hear me, what can you report? What did you observe? Hello, Walker. Yes, Walker, what did you observe? Well, our correspondent Walker Abronoma is out and about to ascertain the level of compliance with the COVID-19 directive this Christmas, and he is prepping himself to join us briefly. You're watching News Hour live on GBC News and Governance Channel. Hello, Walker. Walker, I can hear you. If you can hear me, what have you observed so far? What can you report? Well, I'm having difficulty hearing Walker, so we will bring him back on once we have him. We'll move on to other stories now. All items, including food products, are by law supposed to have expiry dates on them. For this reason, all manufactured products have expiry dates or best before dates written on them. However, some retailers tamper with the expiry dates on products that are no more usable and sell them to unsuspecting consumers to the detriment of their health. The Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, is therefore entreating consumers to always remember to check the expiry date of products before they buy or consume them, especially during this festive season.
Date markings are good manufacturing practices widely accepted internationally. Date markings on food products and other items have implications for both the manufacturer and consumer. These dates are determined by conducting what is called stability test on the product after manufacturing, sometimes taking into consideration the weather condition for the product's marketing destination.
The date markings for maybe the same manufacturing date for a product which is being brought to Ghana may have a different expiration date from one that you find as the same product and date of manufacturing, having a different date marking for expiration in the ones that are going to be displayed in the temperate region. So these are part of the considerations we take when you have to vet these products and then allow them to be approved or accepted for use in the country.
The date markings come in several ways, either the exact date, that is, the day, month, and the year, or only the month.
So, for instance, 12th December 2021. It means that the product will go bad on that date. There are times that you can only have an indication of the month. When it happens that way, you, the consumer, is expected to interpret that to mean the end of that month. So if it is 12/2021, then we mean the end of December 2021, which is the 31st. It goes bad. The manufacturer is not going to be able to guarantee the safety and quality of the product from that day onwards.
About 5 out of every 10 people check the date markings on the product before they buy. Others don't.
Kenya here. If you're sure I can make expiring date, if you want to be in a home, ni if it's more chemicals can be yen. Was no we score I or fish wake. Date expiring date, cash here.
To make sure send your money may far. Say if it is less than 6 months, because minimum the best. The expiring date in the winter.
2021 me wo yo won ya ko ya asa no he no ni ye 2020 no ni ye hin 23 low 24 esa no ba access asa no yo hin.
Some traders, in their quest to clear their stock of products that are about to expire, tamper with the date markings or sell them at giveaway prices. This is what the FDA is cautioning against.
A day or two to the time, it's still wholesome. There's no point in destroying them. Rather, we advise that if you are buying these products, then you should be aware of your own consumption trend. Sometimes consumers seeing that these things are coming at a far cheaper prices than they really are supposed to be, their greed begins to determine what to do, and therefore they sometimes go for so much which they know they will not be able to consume within a certain space of time.
The head of communication and public education at the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, Mrs. Rhoda Appiah, says while products labeled best before may only have reduced in taste and quality after the specific month, expired products should not and cannot be consumed at all.
What's best before really means is that the manufacturer says that I will not be able to guarantee the safety or the quality of the product from the end of this time. It may not have gone bad most of the time with food. It may not have necessarily gone bad, but if it's biscuits, it might have flattened, and therefore the taste would have changed, and you should not expect the same level of quality when you consume it.
Health experts say people who consume expired products do so at their own risk. For GBC News, Mavis Sophia Champon reporting.
We will now go back to my colleague who is out and about in town to find out how the Greater Accra Region Greater Accra Coordinating Council is enforcing the directive, especially in public transports with regards to COVID-19 safety protocol adherence. Walker, can you hear me now? Good.
Yes, I can hear you.
What have you observed so far?
Currently, we are in front of the Ghana School of Law, and before here, we have come through the central districts of the capital, trying to observe whether or not people are just observing the protocols that were put out there by the health authorities of Ghana, and especially by the executive instrument initiated a few months ago by the president about restrictions and also social distancing. But what I can say right now looks like I would say yes and no, because some of the people are wearing it, some also are not wearing. In general, I would say that they are not wearing because the focus is on drivers, or let me say commercial vehicles, the drivers and their conductors or mates, and also the passengers. When you take a commercial vehicle, it's either the driver is wearing, but passengers, almost all the passengers are not wearing, or the driver is not wearing, and the passenger of about 13 people, only about 4 or 5 are wearing. So a lot of people are not wearing the masks, even though the RECSEG, that's the Regional Security Council, last week issued out a statement that everyone should be, people should adhere to the protocols, but that seemed not to be the case because people are going about their businesses, doing their own things without wearing. What we gathered from the regional office also is that this law issue, or the wearing of masks, which started last week, that everybody or commercial drivers should not allow passengers who are boarding their vehicles without the mask to board their vehicles. Since then, if you see town or if you see through what people are, whether or not people are doing, it doesn't seem to be so. People are not wearing it, and that is the case till even today. So what we gathered also is that the transport unions, including the PROTWA, the GPRTU, including some churches or faith-based organizations, were together at a meeting, and they proposed that if the minister could help enforce the laws. So what we know now is that the police service together with the transport unions are supposed to ensure that the people or passengers or commuters are using the nose mask. But that seems not to be the case. For now, that's what we've gathered.
What reasons are they giving for the non-compliance? Did you ask them? What are they saying?
Others will tell you they don't believe there's any disease out here, though they have heard it, but they don't believe it exists. At the premise that people have really just created it. Others are saying it's just that the authorities are manipulating us, so whether or not it's Ghanaian authorities, or they are saying the world authorities, that's the WHO, for that one they haven't made it clear yet, but they are saying that sometimes they are just playing our minds. That's what they are saying. Others also say maybe they've forgotten their mask, and others are also saying the disease is not in town now, even though the Omicron variant is out there now, with the health ministry giving indications or giving facts about the infections rates, which is about 1,000 a day. Still, they don't know that, or they don't talk about that, but they said the disease is not really in town now, so they don't really care about that. Another interesting thing to note is that we met someone, we didn't want to speak to cameras on the basis of anonymity, who said, yes, the husband is even using his own private vehicle, but he has contracted the disease and has infected the family, I mean the children in the house, which is another problem. But so she advised that citizens should wear the mask to prevent any upsurge.
Walker, I was speaking with my colleague Walker Abronoma, who's out and about to ascertain the level of compliance with regards to the wearing of the nose mask directive this festive season. Now, residents of Dom Nujose in the Dom Kwabenya municipality are up in arms about an obstruction of the road from Dom Kwabenya through Taifa by the private developer. The agitated residents said the private developer has constructed a washing bay with a lone wall, which apart from blocking access to the road, also causes flooding when it rains. In a protest to press home their demand, the residents said they live in fear because of lack of access to the area in case of a fire outbreak. According to them, it will be difficult for a fire tender or an ambulance to save the situation. They said all efforts to have the washing bay removed have failed. A spokesman for the Residents Association, Mr. Ben Amuzu, said they are forced to walk a long distance to the main road because of the obstruction.
Say yet me a kwana na omo be boy na ye kwana omo kire say ye su ye say betima ye dia omo ye de omo beta ye tini abeye omo engineer no be che ko say beto na abo no nyama na e say die kwana engineer no bam e be che ye na ye to aso ye kwana edu bia mo say ye njai ti ase but eja na ba kan so ti na e twen say e bia mo ma kwana ye de abedi ma ba to aso up to now ye ti hwe ye hu an say obi ye kwana.
Some of the residents are unhappy that the authorities are looking on unconcerned.
When we cut Taifa, Banchiase, Ashoma Estate, Kwabenya, Ekoho, what I said, Naminim Ghana, say a debit to be fear. Ambulance, fire service of Wabafahin. Minako Nipa Bako, Nano Bianisika or Penti, or no Sikan, Amatima Mufu.
The residents appealed to President Akufo-Addo and the Member of Parliament, Madam Sarah Adwoa Safo, to step in. Meanwhile, the residents have threatened to pull down the wall if the authorities do not do anything about the situation. The Kusasi traditional area in the Upper East region are celebrating their annual Samampi festival amid tight security in the area. Following some disturbances in the area a few weeks ago, the Minister for the Interior through the Upper East Regional Security Council reviewed curfew hours imposed on the Boko municipality and its environs. With the celebration underway, the RECSEC has temporarily lifted the curfew. Our regional correspondent Samuel Ayama is on the line to tell us more. Hello, good afternoon, Samuel.
Good afternoon, Missionary.
Ayama, since the beginning of the celebration, has the community recorded any disturbance so far?
Yeah, for today, we've not had any disturbances here in the Boko municipality, but for the past 1 week, there have been some gun battle shooting between the Kusasis and the Mamprosis in the municipality. But as we speak, ahead of this festival, the security, they beefed up the number of security personnel here. As we speak, we have a lot of police officers, the military, the Ghana Immigration Service, the fire service. They are all here in their numbers, making sure that they protect lives and properties. And so for now, I heard you mention that there's a temporary lifting of the ban. No, the ban has not been lifted, but there was only today, there is a ban on motor riding in Boku municipality, and then they have also lifted a temporary ban on smoke wearing in the township, but only today. So after today, they will go back to the normal the curfew that they are supposed to do for here.
Very well. So what is the mood like in the midst of heavy security? How is this year's celebration of the Samampid Festival like?
Yeah, as we speak, the celebration is currently ongoing. The 25 divisional and staff chiefs in the Kusa traditional area, formerly of Boku traditional area, they all came here with their cultural troops where they are displaying one after the other. So the celebration is going on as usual, but the numbers are not that like large as compared to the previous years. Yes, but the celebration is ongoing. The people here are saying that even though they are celebrating the festival, but they have expected that the township should have been very calm, because when you move to town now, there is tension there because of the fight. Because today is Boku market, but when you go to the market center to speak, the market has been deserted because of the tension in the township.
Thank you very much, Samuel Ayama. We'll come to you for more updates as and when necessary. You're watching News Hour live on GBC News and News and Governance channel. Now, the people of Bolgatanga have celebrated their annual Deya Festival too. The event aims to strengthen peaceful coexistence and cohesion to protect the cultural heritage of the Frafra-speaking community in the Upper East region. Speakers at the event drummed home the need for the residents to unite. Speaking to GBC News, the coordinator for Nogre Craft and Culture Foundation, Mr. Anthony Anabri, explained the rationale behind the celebration of the Deya Festival.
The purpose is to make sure that there's indigenous use of our traditional artifacts, our regalia, that has to do with the skin, which we see as the cattle head, in terms of as to portray our heroism in honoring our forefathers. We just find a table to bring them to dialogue and to accept as a way of re-engineering and building the peace and love that Bolga so much desire.
The Municipal Chief Executive of Bolgatanga, Mr. Rex Asanga, was happy with the event and pledged his outfit's readiness to sustain it.
This is something that we would like to encourage and promote throughout the entire municipality so that we can preserve our culture, because as you know, our youth are growing up and a lot of them are losing sight of our cultural values and our cultural heritage. So this is something that is really very important.
Some of the youth leaders in the various communities spoke to GBC News. Business is next.
Hello, let's do business with me, Esther Edu Ohumewu. He was a teacher but made a switch to full-time agriculture. He is now calling the shots in the agriculture sector. Currently, this farmer is training the youth within his community and is ensuring that they adopt modern farming practices. This is a story of 50-year-old Mr. Michael Ba, who has tilled the land for the past 30 years. Beatrice Sanaju visited Mr. Ba's farm at Kotoso in the eastern region and has more in this report.
It was one of my many visits to rural Ghana that I chanced upon Mr. Michael Ba. He has tilled the land for the past 30 years and has about 1,200 acres of farmlands at Kotoso, a farming community in the eastern region. Over the years, Mr. Ba has cultivated cocoa, cucumber, watermelon, maize, okra, cabbage, onion, among others. At the time of my visit, he was cultivating about 103 acres of onions. He shares his humble beginnings.
I started farming with my father, who passed on in 2018. He trained me seriously. So throughout all my educational levels, I still maintain my profession as a farmer. So about a year or two now, and I stopped teaching and then get into full-time farming business. And I know it is very, very good, and it helps a lot because I can provide for people to consume and also get money.
Mr. Ba currently employs 94 permanent staff and about 350 casual workers who are paid daily. It was refreshing to see students after school join Michael on the farm to acquire some farming skills and also get some badly needed cash for their education. On his onion farm, Mr. Ban tells me he's able to harvest about 320 bags of onion on a busy day. He further shares that onion farming is profitable but capital intensive, and also monies invested into it can be recouped if the farm is properly managed.
If we do our things well, we can supply more than necessary. Because I alone has cultivated about 183 acres. Another person can do so. But because of the farming facilities, the irrigation facilities and the land acquisition and hiring of excavator to uproot all the stump from the land, it's very costly. So if you don't have money, you can't do big. But if the facilities are there, and if the government supply us or is able to give us all the irrigation facilities along the lake, I assure you, we can produce and produce more than necessary.
He says it takes 4 months to harvest the onions, and also that not much is needed to venture into agriculture. He started with meager resources with support from his late father.
I bought my first machine, now 50 Ghana, that's 500,000 cities. Old, 50 Ghana, the machine, the pipes, and then the sprinklers by then. So just small money that I used to start the business, supported by my father, as he wanted me to overtake him.
29-year-old Bright Anoba is an SHS leaver who works on Mr. Bar's farm. Anoba tells me he has no regrets becoming a farmer. He is currently mastering agribusiness on the farm and also saving money to further his education. His dream of becoming an architect in future is gradually becoming a reality.
What I've seen here is a very good work, and as I'm standing here, that is what I'm going to do in my future. So I'll call them, or I'll tell them that they should also come and learn something like this here, so that it will help them in their life. Because where the world is going, we have to plan very well. If not, one day our generation will suffer.
Mr. Ban has therefore called on all to see agriculture as a business and disregard the notion that agriculture is for the poor. He however pleaded with government to provide an enabling environment to help farmers to thrive. He has a word of advice for the youth.
If they get themselves in farming business, it will help them. It will help them. It will help them. They will earn a living. Because these 94 people, I'm not sure somebody will go to even Accra to work. Some are graduates, but still they are working under me and they know what they are getting from the farming business. So you go and stand on the streets, demonstrating at the course of the day. You go and beg for food, it is bad.
Agriculture plays an important role in improving the economies of many countries around the world. It provides employment opportunities for rural people on a large scale in underdeveloped and developing countries, including Ghana. Though the sector faces many challenges, which include aging farmers, the situation is gradually changing as many young people are now taking bold steps into the agric sector. For Mr. Michael Barr, the future is bright. He remains optimistic the issue of unemployment will be reduced if agriculture is made attractive to the youth. His belief is that this will help to improve living standards and also reduce poverty in the country. Beatrice Senaju, GBC News, Kotoso.
Let's have the interbank and commodity figures for the day. Officials of the Ghana Revenue Authority have been advised to ensure that revenue leakages are brought to a halt going forward in 2022 to ensure that government gets the needed revenue for development. At a forum in Accra, the National Security Minister, Mr. Albert Kandapa, said it